In this recording, I'm going to show you how you are going to take data from an Excel table, raw data and processed data, and you're going to put it into Logger Pro, draw up a best line fit, and do all the things that are required in drawing up a graph. So the first thing that one does is you go to your table and you copy in your independent variable. In this practical, the Pendulum Lab, we were changing our length. So this is our independent variable. So I command C, and then I command V, and I put in that, and then I'm going to go to here my time squared or my period squared, because this was my dependent variable, and I command C and I put it into my Y column, and I command V, and there I have it. Now you can't really see anything that's drawn there, and that's because we need to do a few things to the graph first. So I click on the graph and I go to Options, Graph Options. Now one of the first things that you always take out is Connect Points. So that gets taken out, and point protectors you can put in. We will do the title of the graph a little bit later, but firstly let's go to Axes Options, and we usually always use auto scale from 0. Sometimes we use manual, but mostly we can just use auto scale from 0. It's really important that we have our 0 point in the graph. So we auto scale from 0 and we say OK, and that looks better. I've got all my points now, and they have got our point protectors so that we can see them nicely. Now perhaps here would be a good time to change the axes, and to do this I go to my data set and I double click on this one's going to be my X, my independent variable, and I'm going to click on column definitions, and I'm going to actually define the name for this. So in this case this was my length of pendulum, so I could put in length. My short name perhaps would be L. My unit is a meter, and I'm say done, and there it is. And straight away you can see on my horizontal axis, my independent axis, I've got my length. I double click on my Y and I do the same thing here. Now this is the period squared. Do something that persons can understand, other persons reading your graph can understand what it is. So period squared, and I'm doing a double period squared, that's enough. And here I'm going to put in my T, and don't forget that this is squared, so we can put in a superscript here, so that's squared. And my unit is seconds, but again because it's squared, my unit will be seconds squared also. So I've got that in, and I say done, and now I've got both my axes labeled. Perhaps we can come back to putting in our title. So this is a graph. You need to explain what the graph is about. This is a graph showing the relationship between the length versus the period squared of a pendulum. And there I have it there. So there we have my graph there. Now all that's left for me to do in this initial part of it is to put in the best line fit. And to do that I click on my graph, I go to Analyze, I usually do Curve Fit, and I see here I've got my linear graph. We would usually use a linear graph, and we say try fit, and it draws one in for me, and we say OK, and there it is. And I have my best line fit. We've got our we've got all our details for that. It gives us our slope of our graph, which is 4.405. Don't worry about this plus minus, we won't really use that. We'll do something regarding that, but this y-intercept is also important, 0.07, so it's coming closer, passing through the origin, but not exactly. Thank you.